For decades, Barry Gibb finally confesses the truth about Kenny Rogers. To the public, Barry Gibb has always been the voice that never faded, the final heartbeat of the Bee Gees' legacy, and a songwriter who seemed to understand love and loss better than most people ever could. But behind the harmonies, behind the falsetto that defined an era, and behind the endless awards, Barry carried stories he rarely shared. One of those stories, deeply personal and long held close, belonged to Kenny Rogers. Barry Gibb was born Barry Allen Crompton Gibb on September 1, 1946, on the Isle of Man, a quiet place far removed from the global stages he would one day command. Music was not just a hobby in the Gibb household, it was part of daily life, as natural as breathing. Raised in a working-class family, Barry was the oldest of 5 children, a position that shaped him early into a protector and leader. When his younger brothers Robin and Maurice began singing alongside him, something extraordinary happened. The harmonies felt instinctive, almost inherited, as if they had been written into their blood. In the late 1950s, the Gibb family moved to Australia, searching for opportunity and stability. It was there that Barry, Robin, and Maurice transformed from boys who loved music into serious performers. They played wherever they could, learning discipline the hard way and sharpening their sound with every show. Barry naturally became the guiding force, not through ego, but through focus. He believed in work, in structure, and in taking music seriously even when the world did not yet take them seriously. By the mid-1960s, the brothers returned to England and found success almost immediately. Songs like New York Mining Disaster 1941, To Love Somebody, and Massachusetts revealed something rare, emotional honesty wrapped in melody. These were not disposable pop songs. They were confessions set to music, and Barry was the one shaping them. His writing carried longing, regret, hope, and vulnerability, all delivered with a sincerity that listeners felt instantly. As the Bee Gees evolved, so did Barry's voice. In the 1970s, he discovered the falsetto that would become legendary. It wasn't a gimmick. It was an emotional tool, allowing him to express fragility, desire, and pain in ways few male singers dared to attempt. When the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack exploded in the late 1970s, Barry Gibb didn't just dominate the charts, he reshaped popular music itself. Staying Alive, Night Fever, and How Deep Is Your Love became cultural landmarks, proving that dance music could still have a soul. During that period, Barry was the most successful songwriter in the world. Yet he never chased the spotlight alone. Instead, he gave his gift to others. He wrote and produced for Barbra Streisand, Diana Ross, Dolly Parton, Celine Dion, and his younger brother Andy. Each song felt custom-made, as if Barry could step inside another artist's heart and translate their emotions into melody. His generosity behind the scenes became his quiet signature. But success never shielded Barry from loss. In 1988, Andy Gibb died, leaving a wound that never fully healed. In 2003, Maurice passed away suddenly, shattering the emotional core of the Bee Gees. Then in 2012, Robin was gone. With each death, Barry lost not just a brother, but a piece of himself. Music, once shared, now became a solitary act. Still, he continued. Not because it was easy, but because it was the only way he knew how to survive. In his later years, Barry's work became more reflective. His solo album In the Now revealed a man still searching, still questioning, and still deeply in love with the craft that had both saved and wounded him. His voice had aged, but it carried wisdom now. Fans didn't come to his shows for nostalgia alone. They came to witness a survivor still standing. Then, in November 2020, Barry released Greenfields, a project that felt less like a reinvention and more like a return home. Partnering with artists like Dolly Parton, Alison Krauss, Little Big Town, and Jason Isbell, Barry reimagined classic Bee Gees songs in a country and Americana style. The stripped-down arrangements exposed the raw emotion underneath the melodies, proving that great songs do not belong to one genre. They belong to the human heart. The album also included Words of a Fool, a song Barry had written decades earlier but never released. In its quiet maturity, the song sounded like a confession waiting patiently for the right moment. Greenfields was widely celebrated as a reminder that Barry Gibb was not just a survivor of music history, but one of its architects. In December 2023, his legacy was further honored when he received recognition at the Kennedy Center Honors, one of the highest acknowledgments in American arts. Yet Barry did not slow down. In 2024, he became executive producer of the long-anticipated Bee Gees biopic, determined to tell his brother's story honestly, without myth, without distortion, and without forgetting the pain behind the triumph. While the world watched his career, Barry's personal life unfolded quietly. He married his first wife, Maureen Bates, at 19, but the relationship could not withstand youth and sudden fame. They divorced in 1970. That same year, Barry met Linda Gray backstage at Top of the Pops. Their connection was immediate and enduring. They married on his 24th birthday and built a life grounded in family rather than fame. Together, they raised 5 children and later welcomed 8 grandchildren. Linda became Barry's anchor, the steady presence that allowed him to survive the storms of loss and success alike. Through all of this, one friendship remained quietly powerful. Kenny Rogers. Barry later admitted that Kenny was never just another collaborator or famous voice. He was something deeper. Kenny had lived many lives in music, from folk to rock to country, and he carried himself with calm authority. He didn't chase trends. He trusted instinct. And when he sang, he meant every word. Barry admired that deeply. As Barry lost his brothers one by one, Kenny became a silent support. He never offered grand speeches or dramatic comfort. He listened. And sometimes, Barry said, listening was the greatest gift of all. Kenny understood grief without trying to fix it. He understood what it meant to keep going even when your heart was tired. Kenny also taught Barry something about time. You don't outrun it, Kenny once told him. You walk with it. Those words stayed with Barry. They helped him stop fighting age and start accepting it. They helped him write differently. More honestly. More gently. Barry admitted that Kenny's way of living changed how he approached his own music in later years. He stopped writing for charts. He wrote for truth. If a song hurt, he let it hurt. If it healed, he let it heal. That was the lesson Kenny left him with. There was laughter too. Kenny had a dry humor that could dissolve tension in seconds. Barry remembered those moments with warmth, saying they carried him through some of the darkest chapters of his life. When Kenny Rogers passed away in 2020, Barry felt the loss deeply. It was like losing another compass, another voice that reminded him of what truly mattered. And only then did Barry finally confess what he had always known. Kenny helped me stay human, Barry said. In a world that constantly tries to turn you into a product, he reminded me that I was still a person. In the end, Barry Gibb's confession was not about scandal or secrets. It was about gratitude. The truth about Kenny Rogers, Barry said, is simple. He gave people permission to feel. And he gave me permission to slow down, breathe, and be myself. And that truth, Barry believes, is one of the greatest legacies any artist can leave behind.